Hello guys, my name is Mike Ranji. Today I'm going to be explaining about the top 5 most favorite characters from my series so far. So today let's get to number 5. Now number 5 is Mardoff. Now, if you probably don't know who Mardoff is, he's actually one of my new characters. I actually already like them a lot already because when I made the character, I was like, I had a thing where I probably think he was going to be kind of a shit character, but when I roleplayed as him to Sash, I actually kind of think he could be a perfect funny character for some of my series, for some of my stories at least. So basically, Mardoff is basically a wolf it's basically a very mean asshole to everybody. Kind of like Deadpool on steroids, if you ask me. That's all I really can call him. He's basically Deadpool on steroids, but except he's just a wolf who uses a big ass sword and uses 2 Desert Eagles. And yes, those are her guns are. They're literally fucking Desert Eagles, but also on steroids. So, Mardoff, that's all I have to say about Mardoff, the asshole wolf, in number 5. Alright, now let's get to number 4. Now, number 4 is basically a villain that I have been really used too much at all. I mostly use them for role plays whenever I'm bored and shit. But that's just, the case. He calls himself Darkness. Now, Darkness is actually one of my popular characters from when I first made him. When I first made my character, Darkness, he wasn't that perfect at first. Until when I actually started getting help from my good old friends, especially one that I have lost on like weeks ago, but that's over now already, so I'm not too upset about that. But yeah, I'll mention his name, but forget it. His name is Killa, okay? Also known as Coulsart. Now, Coulsart, aka Killa, he made his version of Darkness, which is very cool for him to do that. I appreciated that. And ever since that, when I started using Darkness more for a lot of things, most of my friends really like that character, and I'm starting to think he might become one of the popular characters from my series. Until later on, I kind of find him like overrated now because, in my opinion, I think he's overrated. He's still one of my favorite villains, but not as much like I liked him more back then, though. I still like him as a very good villain character I made, but not as much like I used to, though. Honestly, I find him very overrated, though. But overrated doesn't mean it's always bad. It's just, way too popular, too overrated, blah, blah, blah. You get the fucking meaning. And here's another thing. There's also a story that Killa did add in a while ago. He probably deleted the story already, but I'm not sure. There was a story where basically Darkness was actually the main villain, and the story was called Bloodstorm. He probably deleted it. I'm pretty sure he did delete it, but I'm not sure, because he did block me on Wattpad, and I can't even look if the story is there or not, but I can assure you he deleted it. But yeah, Darkness was the main bad guy. Story wasn't finished, sadly. I wish it was so I can read more of it, because I really want to see more of some of my OCs, and especially my character Darkness. But overall, like I said, I find my character Darkness a bit too overrated, and yeah, that's all I have to say with this character. Now for number 3 spot, I might have to go with Dick Hard Rock here. Now, Dick Hard Rock is also another character that I find overrated, because I use them way too much. I use them on roleplays, levels on Little Planet, really on lots of things. And I think I use them too much, and I find them very overrated at multiple points. But yeah, honestly, I think Dick Hard Rock is overrated. And here's the thing though. I'll give you an example of difference between Dick Hard Rock and Mardoff. Here's the thing, they're both assholes, they're both complete jerks to lots of people, except to some people. But here's the thing though, Dick Hard Rock actually has friends. And also, Dick Hard Rock is possibly one of the most OP characters in my series, one of them at least. But yeah, Dick Hard Rock is basically a military soldier who works in a military team called Orders of Specialists, and Lots of people really hate the bastard because how much of a dickhead he is. And he also, Dick Hardrock also has a girlfriend named Swinera, who is an anthropomorphic pig. And yeah. And Dick Hardrock also has some pretty decent backstory that I made up as well, which, and some pretty interesting story when he was a young child as well. But yeah. But other than that, he's a pretty okay. He's a pretty good character, at least. I find him pretty good character and pretty perfect for the series. But I find him very overrated, though. Like, I use him way too much, and I just find him overrated. I don't find him, like, popular at all. I just find him a bit overrated. Now, Darkness, I kind of find him popular because lots of my friends like that character. But I don't think most of my other friends like Dick Hard Rock because I can possibly tell why nobody liked my character Dick Hard Rock. Some of my friends do, some of my others really don't like him at all. But yeah, I still find Dick Hard Rock frigging overrated. Now, here is number 2 spot on my list. Number 2 is obviously Nemesis Mike. What can I fucking say? He's number 2 on the list. Now, the reason why he's on number 2 because I actually freaking like the character so much. He's a very cool villain. The way I made him, Nemesis Mike has been around the series since I started the series, okay? At first, he starts off as, just a normal clone named Evil Mike, but then later on, I brought him back as a new, better improved villain known as Nemesis Mike, which is Evil Mike, but 10 times more better, okay? Now listen, I made so many evil clones in the past, but Evil Mike, aka Nemesis Mike, was the better evil clone villain of my main OC, okay? He's probably the better main evil clone, in a way. Like, there is, other clones, evil clones I make, but those are not that great. I think Nemesis Mike is better off just being Mike's evil clone, because he's just perfect, okay? I think he's perfect for the series. And I think the personality I made him wise was also pretty perfect. He's very pure evil, he's psychopathic, very curious too, very mean and disrespectful as well. Like, he's just a prick. He's a freaking evil. He's really pure evil, like Darkness as well. Also, I'd like to mention that Darkness is the most evilest character in my entire series. Hope you don't forget that, please. But yeah, Nemesis Mike he's fucking evil, dude. Like, Jesus Christ. I think I made him the fucking Joker / Dio from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure on steroids, if you know what I mean. But anyways, that's all I had to really say about Nemesis Mike. Now, before I get to number 1 spot, I do want to say I do find Nemesis Mike very overrated too, because I also used him too much on levels and on roleplays, so he's not really that popular, I guess. I don't really find him popular at all. I just find him overrated, like all the other characters I use. So far, the only character I don't find overrated is Mardoff, because I haven't used him too much. Because if I did use Mardoff too much, then yeah, I would find him overrated. Or as other people would probably say, overused. But I just find them overrated, okay? I just find some of my OCs way too overrated. Now, before we get into the number 1 spot, I want to explain some, honorable mentions. Geist Lord. Now, Geist Lord is actually one of my most favorite characters. Because he's just a very cool, evil, robot bad guy thing who just wants to, destroy worlds and shit like that. I just find him a really cool character. I do find him overused and overrated too as well, because I did use him too much back then. But I don't really roleplay as him or use him that much back then like I normally would. And another very cool character I like the most is also named Warden Overlord, which I also find very overrated because, like I said, I used him too much for certain things, and it's just, just simple. But Warden Overlord is also kind of similar to Geist Lord, but except he's a lot more stronger than Geist Lord. So, I'll give it to you on that. And another character that, Actually, that's all I have to really say for now, actually. I don't really have to say anything else. I think that's it. So let's get to the number one spot. Now, the number one spot is really obvious. It's me, Mike, main OC, my main OC. Just, his name is Mike, okay? But he is basically me. So, yeah, I'm number one, basically. So, why did I put my main character in number one? Well, it's obvious. I like him so much. He's the best character I ever made in my entire series. Sure, he's basically a Mary Sue because he is overpowered. Actually, why the fuck did I call him Mary Sue? He's not even a girl. He's a fucking male. But yeah, he's overpowered. He can be boring at most of the time. But in my opinion, I think he's the best character in my entire series. He's very badass, overpowered, and very, very freaking just has some very cool backstory of him too that I gave him. Very interesting one. I haven't really made a story about his backstories yet because I was, I'm fucking lazy ass. But very cool fucking villain. I mean, no, hero character I ever made. Number one most favorite character of all other characters. But here is one downside. I actually find him really, really overrated. He is, I mean, here's the thing. He's the main character, but I think I made him overrated. It's just my opinion, okay? I think my main OC is overrated, but I'm not sure. I could be wrong. If you guys think he's overrated, please say he's overrated, because I think he's overrated. But anyways, all I have to say is, Mike is number one. Most favorite character from my entire series. That's all I have to say for now. I will see you all in the next video.